Is so after we search for chametz, so first of all, before we search for chametz, just mentioned that you want to know about what's required, what's spring cleaning, what's required. Okay, so we'll start with that now. What do you have to clean for Pesach? There's certain things that you have to, certain things that are astringency, or machmir. It's the proper thing to do. And then there's certain things that we do because we want the house to be fresh and nice for Pesach. So, according to halacha, any drop, even a piece of chametz, you have to remove. You can't have in your premises. I mean, according to the Torah, you only transgress if you have a kazai. It's the size of an olive of chametz in your possession, which is about 3/4 of an ounce, let's say, of bread or cookies or cake. You can't have that in your possession. But rabbinically, even less you can't have. Even small pieces, even a small crumb, you also can't have. However, according to halacha, if let's say this tiny crumbs that fall on the floor, and especially if people are stepping on it, so there's like nothing left. I'm talking about literally like, these little tiny little pieces, like let's say so this thick salt, it's like about that size, that's somewhere there, and because people step in it, there's like barely anything left. Halachically, even rabbinically, there's no requirement. You can leave it there. You don't have to sweep it up. But of course, we do. It's that we should be strict. The Arizal says if you're careful, even from a drop of chametz on Pesach, you have a guarantee that you will not sin the entire year. Obviously, it doesn't mean that you could, you just sleep all day and you have a guarantee. You still have to get up and do what you have to do. Okay, but there's a sort of a guarantee that you will not sin the entire year. So we're careful even with the drop of chametz. According to halacha, you have pieces of chametz stuck behind the refrigerator onto the stove. You're not planning to pull out the refrigerator and stove on Pesach. Something stuck there. You don't have to pull it out and clean it out. We said, according to the Torah, you can do bittul, you just nullify the chametz. And the reason why we don't want to rely on that, just a nullifying, main reason is because you might come to eat from it. You're not going to come to eat from it. So according to halacha, it's fine. But we are machmir, we are strict, that we will pull out the refrigerator, we will put out the stove. Anything that could easily be pulled out, I mean, we don't have to break the house to something fell into a crack and you have to, but something that can easily be pulled out and clean, we are machmir, we do. However, now svarim. What about svarim? You have to clean svarim. Halacha clean? You don't, because what could be in there? Tiny little crumb. There's nothing. It's nullified by itself. Halacha clean, but we are strict, even with a drop of chametz. Now, doesn't mean everyone has to be strict, and doesn't mean in all such. It means you have to clean all the svarim, only svarim that I use. If you have svarim that sit on the shelf all year and never used, you don't have to pull out all the svarim. Only the svarim that I used with chametz. I mean, many times people take out sidurim and it goes onto the table and people are eating there. So that's the proper thing, is that it should be cleaned. Or it could be stored away, and it could be sold with all the chametz. Could seal it off and then you don't have to clean it. You can do that too. It's brought down in Shulchan Aruch that the proper thing is that if you have any chametz stuck to anything, Al-Teva says, Yisrael Kedoshim, Jews are holy, and they have a minhag to be strict, and they scrub all chametz, even if it's minute, it's barely anything there, and it's stuck to the chair, to the table, wherever it is. The minhag is we will scrub it to get rid of it. So that's a stringency that's brought in Shulchan Aruch, but it's brought as a stringency. All these things are important to know what's halacha, what's stringency, especially when you're trying to influence other people. If you're involved with other people, family, friends, and trying to encourage them to, let's at some point when, obviously at the right time, the right way, you have to know how to do it. You want to encourage them to keep Pesach. It's not so complicated as we think it is, because we are trying to go the extra mile to be careful with be very strict with everything, how we're supposed to be. But the letter of the law, halachically, it's not so complicated, not so much. Then Al Rebbe also says that let's say you have a drop of chametz in a crack. Let's say you have a chair and there's a crack in there, and there could be something stuck in there. You can't get it out. Then halachically, you can't get it out. There's really anything there, even if there is something there, halachically, you just leave it like that because you're nullifying the chametz. The reason why we don't rely on nullification is because you might come to eat from it. You can't come to eat from it. There's really anything there, and it's stuck inside. So halachically, even rabbinically, you could just nullify it, and that's it. But we are careful and try to get it out. If we can't, it's not coming out. It says you should plaster something over it. It says cement, teeth, whatever it is, whatever is practical, it should be sealed over, should be covered over. It's like this, it's totally sort of like destroyed. You can't even get to it. And then there's things that people do that actually just, actually real spring cleaning, that people wash the windows, they wash the ceiling, and they wash the carpet. Now, washing the carpet, isn't that required? You have chametz in the carpet. Well, washing the carpet, I don't think takes out to get out the chametz, you have to vacuum it very, very well from the carpet. But washing the carpet, not necessarily does that have to, maybe if it's hard to wash, I don't know, I don't have any carpets now, but it could, if it's the only way to get out the piece, if there's any crumbs in there that you cannot get out without washing, okay. But anything that's just washing, like washing the window, washing the ceiling, people do a lot of things. They polish the floor, they wax the floor, different things. They're nothing to do with Pesach. I'm not saying it shouldn't be done. If someone wants to do it, let them do it. It's a nice thing to do. If you have time to do it, why not make the house nice for Pesach?
Wait, washing the carpet is not.
So I started saying washing the carpet doesn't necessarily, it could be it does in some situations. The way I understand with carpets is that the washing the carpet is not for taking out the pieces, it's just to wash it. But to get out the pieces, anything that's there, you can get through vacuuming. So the washing the carpet is just to wash it. Like you wash this, like it's not necessarily taking out more crumbs, more pieces, but could verify it with the one who's washing the carpet. That's what I understand. Which means that washing the carpet is not necessarily connected to the stringency of Pesach, even having a drop of chametz. But again, it could be with carpets, maybe thicker carpets, that could be the washing takes out more of the pieces. In other words, it's just dust and dirt. Dirt is not chametz. That's why people do a lot of washing and everything, and no, it's not chametz. Washing the windows is not chametz. Waxing, shining, things like that. People do a lot of things, which is nice if they're able to do it. Why not make the house nice for Pesach? But it's not connected to the stringency that we're discussing, which is to make sure you don't even have a drop of chametz. So we have to distinguish between we are strict. Those who are at the level, they want to be strict even with a drop of chametz. And with this, that people do the washing and polishing and doing things that the house should look, nice, beautiful, and everything.
Washing the chairs is something different.
Washing the chairs, again, if it's scrubbing, sometimes you have, especially with kids, they touch it, then there could be pieces of food stuck to it. So people are scrubbing the chairs because there may be something stuck to it. So that's a stringency in connection to chametz. But if there's nothing stuck to it, You see, it's something stuck to it. They're just washing it, and you're just washing it because you want it to be clean. You're washing the dirt, the dust. That has nothing to do with chametz. It's a nice thing if you feel you want to wash your chairs, but you have to know there's no connection to chametz. It's not. Sometimes people drive themselves crazy because Pesach chametz you have to wash. You don't have to. When you have time, it's a nice thing to do. People all year round, nothing to do with chametz. People will wash their windows and wash the carpet or wax the floor. It's in general, it's a nice thing to do, but you have to know why you're doing it. Okay, you're doing it because you want to make it nice for Yom Tov. Okay, there could be Shavuos, could be Sukkot, nothing to do with Pesach. It's not nothing to do with chametz. You have to distinguish between one thing and another. Okay. Understood? Okay. So going back to searching for chametz. So before we begin searching for chametz, what we need to do is we need to put away any chametz that we have that we still might be eating tonight or tomorrow morning. We want to put it away and seal it. Imagine you're searching for chametz, but you still have chametz left. You still not eat chametz till the next morning. Well, this you can eat until Shabbos, right? They still have chametz left. So you're searching for chametz, and there's chametz on the table, right? There's chametz right there, the sandwich there. Okay, it's the night of B'dikas chametz. You can still eat chametz. You're searching for chametz. You finish searching this room, and then you go to the next room. You search the next room, and then you go to another room, and then someone takes that chametz. A child comes, or Shulchan Aruch talks about a mouse will come and take the chametz from here and put it there, which you already searched. So before you search for chametz, you want to make sure that it's not going to be like, you're searching here and you're searching, and then the chametz from here ends up there because the child went and took the chametz after you searched, put it from one room to the other. Doesn't make any sense. So what you need to do is take the chametz and seal it and put it higher up where a child won't be able to reach it. So you put it higher up, a child can reach it. You seal it up so a mouse can't get to it. Now you know that you're good. Now you know that your searching makes sense. Otherwise, you're searching for chametz, and maybe the chametz that is sitting around ends up coming back to a place that you already searched. Now, if you didn't do that, we don't say you have to search again, unless there's something clear that something happened, But otherwise, you don't have to search again. Yes.
Sorry. When I was a child, we weren't allowed to. No, we didn't put the parcels of food upstairs in the house because my mother just had the rule like no eating upstairs because it makes Pesach cleaning harder. As we've got,
You mean the 10 pieces?
Yeah, like we put the 10 pieces downstairs because
down to the place we eat, the dining room,
the dining room, the kitchen, like that was it. That was where we put it.
She didn't want anything upstairs.
My mum
Okay.
was like, we don't put food upstairs.
All right.
Now, over the years, we've eaten upstairs plenty, but the food parcel still stay down. Is it like better to
have pieces upstairs too?
So that you go look for it?
I think it's better, but it's not. It's not a deal breaker. It's like the custom is to put 10 pieces. It makes sense. It should be. It's like I don't know. It's better. Why do we put 10 pieces? So if it ever brings in the Agada, the reason is we shouldn't forget about the mitzvah of burning chametz. Because if we don't find anything, then the next morning, you're not burning anything, we forget about the mitzvah of burning chametz. So in terms of that, job is done. You put out 10 pieces. So this probably is good. It's fine. I think it's better that a person should know you're looking for something. There's nothing upstairs. The one who's searching knows also there's no chametz upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think it's fine. The bottom line is he's searching, you're doing the mitzvah. The mitzvah you could do even with one room. If you search one room that needs to be searched, you can say a bracha. So I don't think it's such a. I think it's fine. I mean, personally, I would make sure to put it all over. So the one who's searching knows that he's searching.
And then I have another
Comments can be
question.
anywhere, but yeah.
Customarily, what's used for the food for chametz? Like I know people that just do crackers.
Doesn't matter. People
Oh.
use bread. Why not bread? The main thing is it should be sealed properly. We discussed it should be sealed, so there shouldn't make any crumbs. That's the main thing. When we search for chametz, we use a candle, these wax candles preferably, and the meaning is we also use a wooden spoon and a feather. What is the feather of the wooden spoon for? The feather is to those days that there's holes in the walls and cracks in the floor, and the feather was to scoop out if there's anything that got stuck there to get it out, and the spoon is to like from the with the feather you're supposed to like push it into the spoon, supposedly, yeah. So that's what it's for. But there's also interesting explanation about the wooden spoon, because wooden spoon in Hebrew is kaf eitz. Kaf means a spoon, eitz is wood, a wooden spoon. And chametz, the destruction, the burning of the chametz is connected to the destruction of Amalek. And the wooden spoon has a connection to the destruction of Amalek. More specifically, the term, the kaf eitz, is connected to Amalek. How is that? Because the first war with Amalek was Moshe Rabbeinu, who was davening while the Jews were fighting Amalek. And it says when Moshe Rabbeinu's hands were up, was holding it up, then the Yidden were winning. But when his hands went down, then the Yidden started to lose. When it means hands were up, that means when he was davening. But his hands, kaf means hand, palm. So kaf refers to Moshe Rabbeinu's hands when he was holding it up when he was davening for the Yidden when they were fighting Amalek. Eitz, what's eitz? Eitz could, or kaf eitz means a wooden spoon, but the word eitz could also mean tree. What do you do to Haman? Hung him on a tree. So kaf eitz is connected to Amalek, and the destroying of the chametz is connected to Amalek. So that's the idea of having a wooden spoon on the searching of the chametz, and then we actually burn the wooden spoon afterwards. And why do we burn the wooden spoon afterwards? So the reason is because before they started putting out 10 pieces, they weren't necessarily burning anything, only what they found. If they didn't find any chametz, they didn't burn anything. So people could forget about the mitzvah of burning chametz. So they would at least burn the wooden spoon. That's where the minhag came from. So the minhag remained that we burn everything. Even though we have 10 pieces, we also burn it together with the wooden spoon. So what we do is we take the wooden spoon after we finish frying the chametz and we stick it into the bag, and the handle sticks out, and then it says we tie around the spoon together with the bag, and then we take the bag with the 10 pieces and we put it in a place that you should remember the next day. You hang it up, put a place you're going to see the next day. You don't want to forget. Then these things happen. I had a question with someone who called up, and it was very chalamayid. She just found the 10 pieces, the bag of the 10 pieces, just found it, you know. Question was, do you burn it with a bracha? That's a question. The answer is actually, you don't burn it with a bracha, because these are the 10 pieces that you will look at, which you found, and we say a bracha before we start searching. So usually, if you find chametz during Pesach, if it's a kazayis, the size of an olive, about 3/4 of an ounce, you burn it with a bracha. But if it's from the 10 pieces that you already said a bracha, when you started searching for the chametz, you said a bracha already, so it's already included in that bracha. So even though you didn't burn it yet, you're burning it a few days later, but these are the 10 pieces that you found, which you were looking for, and before you started searching, you said a bracha. So those 10 pieces, if someone finds it on Pesach, they burn it without a bracha. We'll go into more details soon. When you find comments, if it's Yom Tov, Chol Hamoed, we'll get to that. That's what it says in the custom. In Mini Chabad, it says that's what we do. It says why reason? It could be just practical. I don't know. This is what it says. It doesn't make sense. It's a good way. It's a strong way to tie it. If you have the spoon sticking out, and then you tie the string around it, it holds strong, as opposed to just the paper itself. Yeah, you have some, what do you call it, grip, whatever you call it, you have something to tie it against. But more than that, I don't know if there's any specific reason why this way. It could be just some, yeah, what did you say?
No.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so yesterday we were talking about that together with the destroying of the chametz and the searching of the chametz, you have to be aware of throwing out the vacuum bags, children's pockets, strollers. These are things that are big time issues, with kids, strollers full of chametz. Now, a car has to be searched for chametz, a garage, anywhere that you bring a chametz sometimes. Your office, you have an office somewhere that you eat there all year round, you have to search for chametz. Now, do you have to search there the night of the 14th? I mean, this is not the 13th, but you have to search the same night. Have an office in Manhattan, let's say. Yeah, I live here. So I'm going to search at night, the 14th here. And then I'm going to go to Manhattan at night to search there. Am I required to do that? The answer is no. I could search my office the night before, but it should be at night, not during the day. You have to do by the light of the candle at night. And then when I search it before the night of the 14th, means the night of the 13th or earlier, there is no bracha. Now, this year is an exception. We're searching the night of the 13th and we're saying a bracha, because that's the time to search it. But in a regular year, the requirement to search is the night of the 14th. If you search earlier, any night earlier, you don't search with a bracha. Now, could you search the night before the night of the 14th? Well, as long as you leave a room for the night of the 14th to search, a room that you eat chametz there, it's fine. So, halachically, you can actually search the whole house before the night of the 14th. And as long as you leave one room for the night of the 14th, a room that you actually eat chametz there, to search the night of the 14th. So now you can search for the bracha. In other words, before the night of the 14th is no bracha, because the takana of the enactment of searching chametz was for the night of the 14th. Now, generally, people don't do that. People will search the whole house the night of the 14th. But if it's difficult, like in the case we have an office somewhere else, and it's hard to the night of the 14th to search your house and then travel there, so then the any night before that, you search your office without a bracha. So always, if it's before the night of the 14th, we never say a bracha, besides this year, of course, because that's the time to search the night of the 13th. Yeah.
If it's during Pesach, you still have to search.
So question is, if you're not going to your office during Pesach, let's ask another question. You have to search your house. What if you're not going to be home? You're leaving your house. You're not going to be home. It's still your house. You still own your house. You still own the chametz in there. So the fact that you're not going to be there doesn't change anything. Now, what you could do is, or many people do, is they sell the chametz. That's something else. These days we sell. In other words, you sell the whole office. And if it's your office, if it's not your office, then it depends on the situation. I don't want to go into right now. If you have a cubicle of this, maybe we can leave that to another time. But how exactly you sell it. But yeah, if you're not going to be there, and then there is an option of selling it, but it has to be done correctly. In another class, we talk about selling, we can go into more details about that. So you find chametz on Pesach. We
Wait,
said,
if
yeah,
you're not going to the office during Pesach, then you still have to search.
yes, you still have to search, but you have the option to sell it.
I would just
If you're
sell it.
going to be there,
If I was gonna be there, I'd just sell the whole thing.
but if you're using it, you can't sell it. You can't sell your office and still use it.
Yeah. No, she's saying like if you're never gonna be there, the entire Pesach,
Then,
then why wouldn't you just sell all everything?
yeah, oh, yeah, exactly. You're not going to be there, you might as well sell it, yeah. Now, what's if you find chametz on, yeah,
What
Good.
happens if, like, you're going away for Pesach, but you're going before Pesach starts? So you can just sell everything, or you still have to search without a bracha?
okay, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
You sell
So
it.
we started talking about you finding
I mean,
chametz
you
on,
search for the bracha.
you find chametz on Pesach. So what do you do if you find chametz on Pesach? We said you have to burn it, of course. And we discussed if you find it on Chol Hamoed Pesach, then sometimes you have to burn it with a bracha. So if it's a kazayis of chametz that you found, you have to burn it with a bracha. You said if it's the 10 pieces that you found that you didn't burn, that you found and you didn't burn it, then there's no bracha because you already said a bracha when you started searching for the chametz. The same bracha that you say when you start searching the chametz, that's the bracha that one says when you burn chametz on Pesach, when you're required to say a bracha. Now, if you find the chametz on Yom Tov meaning not Chol Hamoed, Yom Tov, actually Yom Tov, then the chametz is muktzah. Chametz is muktzah because it has no use. There's nothing you can do with chametz. It has no value. It can't benefit. So it's muktzah. Our sages say it's muktzah. But even though the Torah says that you have to burn it, but the Chacham say we don't let you burn it because it's muktzah. It's a power, as ironic as it sounds, but the Torah gave power to the Chachamim to enact whatever they felt was necessary. They enacted the prohibition of muktzah, including muktzah is that chametz is muktzah. So the Torah says you have to burn it. The Chacham say, no, we're telling you it's muktzah, you can't. So what happens now? That means you're transgressing for having chametz in your possession. But you're not, what's going on? Yeah, Chacham have the power, but okay, so listen to Chachamim. Fine, it's muktzah, I can't. But now I'm transgressing? Having chametz in my possession? Anybody? No.
Oh, still sorry.
No. Something called oinus, accident, against your will. If you had chametz in your possession during Pesach, and you were not aware of it, and after Pesach you find out there's chametz in your possession, you didn't transgress, you didn't know about it, it's not your fault. Here too, you found there's chametz in your house that you found on Yom Tov, but you can't, Chacham don't let you burn it. You're not allowed to burn it because it's muktzah. So I'm not transgressing because it's not my fault. They don't let me burn it. Get it? So the Chachamim are not putting you in a situation. The Chachamim are saying it's muktzah, but you're not transgressing because it's not your fault. We don't let you, so you're not allowed. So you're like stuck. So it's like it's against your will. So you don't transgress family chametz in your possession. Yeah. But you have to cover the chametz to make sure you don't eat from it. And after Pesach is over, after Yom Tov, Pesach, after Yom Tov, the first, Matzah Yom Tov, then you burn it. If it's kazayis, you have to say a bracha. Now, it's not so simple these days when people are selling chametz, if they should say a bracha. It's questionable. If, let's say, you're selling chametz too, so you're home, but there's certain parts that you close, sealing off and selling, and then you find chametz under your bed or somewhere behind the couch, then it's actually questionable if you should say a bracha, because there are some opinions that say that because you sold the chametz, And when you're selling the chametz, you're also specifying wherever the chametz is, even though it's designated areas. There's reason to say that the chametz that you found may also be included in the sale. It's questionable. It's not so clear. It's a discussion for itself. So therefore, if you also selling chametz in the apartment and you find chametz somewhere, not from what you sold, it could be that the chametz is considered sold. You still burn it. But to burn with a bracha, no, shouldn't burn with a bracha. If you find chametz after Pesach, of course you burn. Of course you. There's no bracha for burning the chametz. There's no. You're not have chametz in possession after Pesach, but you have to burn it anyways. Why do you have to burn it? Because you're not. Chacham said a Jew that had chametz in his possession during Pesach, even though he did not transgress because it wasn't his fault, but because it wasn't his possession, we are giving him a penalty that after Pesach he cannot benefit from this chametz. Therefore, we want him to burn it to get rid of it.
Unless he sold it and bought it back.
Right. But otherwise, you cannot benefit from it, even though you did nothing wrong, because it wasn't your fault. But the Chacham said, if we allow this, we're concerned that people might keep chametz in their possession during Pesach, intentionally. And then after Pesach, they're going to want to sell it. People are going to say, hey, what's going on? You had chametz in your possession during Pesach? So, no, I didn't realize, I totally overlooked. I didn't realize I had this whole storage of chametz. I didn't know about it. So I didn't do anything wrong. And now he's going to do business with it after Pesach. Chacham said, if you had chametz in your possession during Pesach, we don't care. It wasn't your fault. Doesn't matter. After Pesach, you cannot benefit from it. You can't eat it. You can't sell it. You cannot benefit. Now, talking about the prohibition of benefit, we didn't mention in the first class when we spoke about benefiting from chametz. What is the definition of benefiting? Benefiting means selling it, using it for fuel. Benefiting also means feeding it to a dog that's not your dog. Feeding it to a stray dog is also called benefiting. You know what's also called benefiting? Smelling it. Now, what do I mean smelling it? I'm not talking about smelling old chametz that's been sitting 4 weeks stuck under your bed. I don't mean that. We mean if on Pesach you're walking down the block and you're walking by a Goyish bakery, not your chametz. Now, you can't eat chametz. You can't benefit from chametz. What does it mean you can't benefit from chametz? You can't benefit from your chametz? No, you can't benefit from chametz, period. What makes a difference if yours is not yours? So you're walking down the bakery, in the Goyish bakery, baking bread over there, whatever, pastries, and let's say it smells good, usually doesn't, but let's say it has a very good smell, and you're going to enjoy the smell very much, you're not allowed. You walk away. You can't, because you're benefiting, you're enjoying the scent of that bakery of chametz. Yeah.
You give it to your cleaning,
Could you?
give like, comes to your cleaning lady, like that you.
You're talking about after Pesach.
Like, that's benefit, that's.
No, but what are you referring to? You found chametz.
Yeah.
You found chametz in your possession, and you're not allowed to benefit from it. It's after Pesach. So we said you can't feed it to a stray dog. You can't feed it to a stray dog. For sure, you can't feed it to the cleaning lady. You're getting a certain enjoyment from it that you're giving it to someone to eat. Even if it's not responsible to feed her, you're getting a certain satisfaction that it's not going to the garbage. Can't. The Shabbos before Pesach, which this year is, what do I press there?
Yeah.
Which one is it? Oh, okay, good, thank you. The Shabbos before Pesach is called Shabbos HaGodol, and this year the Shabbos before Pesach is mamish on Erev Pesach. Erev Pesach is on Shabbos, so that's Shabbos HaGodol. It says Shabbos. Why is it called Shabbos HaGodol? Great Shabbos. Anyone knows why it's called Shabbos HaGodol? Why is it big Shabbos? Huh?
Like
No,
one of
Like
the
a
four.
culmination of the 4 weeks.
Yeah,
No,
Friday,
no.
Mazachar.
it's called the Great Shabbos because, yeah, because a great miracle happened on that Shabbos. A great miracle happened on that Shabbos. What's the great miracle? The great miracle is that the Yidden, on which that year, Shabbos said that the year that they left Mitzrayim, Pesach was on Thursday. 15th day of Nisan was on Thursday. So the 10th day was on Shabbos. And the Yidden were told to prepare a sheep for the current Pesach. They tied it to their bed. Then the Egyptians came and they asked, what is this all about? And they said, well, it's Hashem told us to slaughter it, and then Hashem is going to send, is going to take us out of Mitzrayim, and the firstborn are going to die. And the firstborn Egyptians, when they heard this, they became very upset, they were very angry, and they went to Parai, and they petitioned that they should let the Yidden out of Mitzrayim because they don't want to die. And Parai said no. And they started a war with Egypt. They started a civil war with Parai's army, and they were killing each other. And this is considered a great miracle that happened on that Shabbos. This is considered the beginning of the Exodus of Mitzrayim. And there is an explanation of the Rebbe, which we're going to explain in the next class, because the question over here is, what's great about this miracle? What happened? This that the Egyptians, the firstborn, started fighting with the Egyptians, with each other, started killing each other out because they wanted the Jews to get out, didn't help the Jews get out any faster. It didn't change anything. So why? So some explain, there is an explanation that the miracle was, instead of turning their wrath towards the Jews, they turned towards. When the Rebbe says it doesn't seem from that this is what it is. But so the Rebbe gives an interesting explanation which we'll explain in the next class. Shabbos Agodim, after Mincha, we say Avodim Ayinu, being that the Shabbos before Pesach, which this year is on Erev Pesach, is considered the beginning of, that's when the miracles began, in Tzias Mitzrayim. So that's why we also say Avodim Ayinu, which we say the night of Pesach, we also say that Shabbos after Mincha. So we're going to say Avodim Ayinu this year after Mincha, Erev Pesach, right before the night, and that night we're going to say it again, so like close to each other. Interesting.
What is it?
We're going to say Avodim Ayinu that we say by the Seder. We're going to say also on Erev Pesach after Mincha, because we say it's the Shabbos before Pesach. But this year happens to be on Erev Pesach after Mincha, so it's like right before the Seder we say Avodim Ayinu, which we're going to say right away again at the Seder. It's interesting setup.
What's the word? Sorry.
Avodim Ayinu. Sometimes right after the 4 questions that we asked the night of the Seder begins Avodim Ayinu. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Yeah.
Can we go over like all the different chromas that we might see in Crown Heights and like what is a baseline Chabad minhag? Because I think as both Shuvas and especially at the dorm, we see so many different things, and I just like want to know like what the halachic basis is of like the basics.
Okay.
Chumrah.
Good. It's good you mentioning it, and
Yes.
I'll prepare it in an organized way so we can go through it.
Okay.
Yes. It's a shame. Yeah.
Also have a Shiloh if you have a few minutes after.
Yeah. Sure. Any other questions? Okay. We got everyone.
Oh, I do, but it's also like not related, so I can ask after.
You have this thing.